Hi Libra, welcome to your April 2018 tarot reading. My name is Donatella and I will be doing your reading today. But before we get started, let me tell you, I have been trying to do your reading. And every time I have been trying to pull the energy, it was just never the right time. But now, after all this time, I'm realizing why. There was something that I had to go through first. And then after understanding that lesson, then I wanted to be able to share it with you. It just seems like I feel like I'm getting the message for each sign at the right time. I have to visualize something, experience it in some weird way, and then express it. And then it's like, okay, now's the time. Now, then I get that nudge, and then I have to follow that nudge, and it's the right time when it's the right time. And that's what I want to say. And before I start with the readings, before I talk about astrology, I just want to let you know, Libra, that we're not being honest to ourselves, and we're not being fair to others when we're not telling them exactly what it is that we need in our lives. We are not being selfish for taking care of ourselves. It's very important that you understand that. It's very important that you understand that it's really important to take care of self first. Because what's going to happen is that we are going to leave ourselves very empty if we don't take care of ourselves. And when we're empty, no matter who is there for us, we're not going to be able to be happy if we're not happy for ourselves. And the first thing is to be healthy with yourself, and that is just making yourself happy first. Making sure that not in a selfish way, but more in a way where you're taking care of yourself, where you're putting your needs in a place where you could feel like your old self again. And you will find out what is the healthiest way whenever you are by yourself. You will understand what you need and what makes you whole. You'll understand what you need as a human every time you are succeeding. And if you are covering that up with other things, you're never going to feel happy. And making others happy is not the only thing that can make you happy, Libra. Making yourself should also be something that makes you happy. Making sure that you are healthy enough first before you're taking care of others is also something that is very, very important for you. And if you're in a place right now where you're hurting and you don't know what to do, then the best thing that you could do for yourself is to come to an honest conversation with someone. When you're at that point where you don't know what to do, the best thing that you could do is to talk to anyone that is hurting you, and you could just have a heart-to-heart, and you should be able to always be honest with whoever you feel is on your side, whoever you love. You should be able to be open and honest and talk about what your needs are. You should be able to ask what you need help with. You shouldn't be embarrassed about who you are. You shouldn't cover yourself to make someone else happy. Do you understand what that means, Libra? Because if you try to make others happy, you will never, ever be happy. Making others happy is not your own true happiness. That is going to get you happy for a moment or two. But genuinely, you have to be honest with yourself first. And when you're honest with yourself, you're going to find more time when you're by yourself, when you know what it is that makes you the most happiest. And when you figure that out, if you ever have any issues, you should always feel like the door is always open to adjust yourself, to make yourself better, for better communication, for more harmony in your life. And if you cannot have a heart-to-heart with someone and you feel like you are constantly being disrespected just to open up your own mind, open up your own thoughts, then maybe that is such negative behavior that you shouldn't even be around. Because that is just going to make you feel less and less and less. And like I said, you should give yourself life support first before you're able to give other people life support. Because you won't be happy that way. You won't be happy catering all the time to others. And the first card that I get, before I go through astrology, let me tell you really quickly what's going on with astrology. Jupiter is in Scorpio right now. That's the planet of luck and expansion. And Scorpio is about money, power, and sex, okay? And it's also about possession. What are you committed to for the next 12 years? Jupiter will be in Scorpio for 12 months, and it will be the domino effect for everything else that you do in your life for the next 12 years, okay? So the reason why I want to start this new program for my series, and you can definitely hit subscribe anytime while this is playing. I'm going to be having a free series, and it's going to start as soon as all the general readings are done. As soon as the general readings are done, then I'm going to talk about the benefits and the detriments of every single zodiac sign. So that way they know exactly how to work with what they have. And originally, when the first calendar was created by the Babylonians, it was created for harvesting. It taught us when to plant seeds, and it taught us when to harvest. And April is during the time that we need to plant seeds. So that's why I wanted to create this channel, because there's going to be a lot of energies. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And the best that we can do is to make sure that we reach our goal at the end of the time frame that we have. So that's why I created this program, and I want to do the general signs every month, and I also want to have a series for each sign, so that way they know how to work through every single month. And on the 31st of March, the full moon was in Libra, so you should have known and realized exactly what it was, what it takes for you to feel that balance in your life. So if you're not feeling that balance in your life, you need to do everything that it takes for you to feel that balance in your life first, and then worry about making others happy. Because the first card that I have, the first card that I have is the Three of Cups. And Libra, you're very focused on the negative things that are in your life right now. If there was 5 parts of your life and 3 of them were miserable, you're mainly focusing on the 3 things that make you the most miserable right now. And you're turning your back on the things that are making you happy. And what's crossing it is because these 2 choices that you have in your life. There's things that are going on in your life that are unstable, and it makes you question things. You're back and forth because the burden is all on you for these 2 things to figure out. There's 2 things on your mind. It could be 2 children, it could be 2 jobs, it could be 2 homes, it could be 2 situations, okay? But there's 2 things that are split in your life. And if these things can come together as a whole, then you would be fine. Those things would not be broken. But there's a part that is unbalanced, unstable, and it's too heavy to hold. And this is the reason why I haven't been able to do this reading. I have felt such a heavy energy. Such a feeling where I was really, honestly, I've been pulled away. And what's crowning you is the 2 of Swords. So you really feel like there's 2 decisions that you have to make in your life. And either one is a very sharp decision. And you know that each one of them has their benefits, and you know each one of them has their detriments. You know that each situation has its pro, each situation has its con. You're blindfolded because you're not understanding which way to go. In the recent past, you had invested in something and you had been waiting for it to grow. And now you feel like you're not going to wait for it to grow anymore. You feel like you're tired of waiting for it to grow. You've had enough of growing, and it is what it is. And that was because you were not able to be the person that you want to be. You already know that you are someone who can handle your home. You are someone who has the voice of your home. You are someone that, or even your job. Let's say that this is for your job. You have not been speaking up in a way that you know that you have the right to speak up. You have not been saying the things that you know you have the right to say. And when you don't say the things that you need to say, yeah, you do feel very shut out. But what happens is that when you don't speak up what is right and what is fair to you, you're going to sit at the crossroads again and you're going to try to figure out what is fair and what's unfair because you're not speaking up. And what happens is then you wait for things to happen for you. And when you wait for things to happen for you, you get upset and you don't want to wait anymore, and then you want to give up. But this kind of process, Libra, it's going to delay that financial thing that you need to start, okay? Because all of this worry over not being able to speak up and the decisions that you have to make and the burden that you have is more focused on the burdens, just like that first original card that I have, than starting that pinnacle, starting that job. I have Page of Pentacles. This is the starting of a career. This is the starting of something that you need to do, your career, your passion, because this is the year, Libra, for you to follow your calling, okay? You have a calling that you have, and it's meant for you. You have gifts that you were sent. So if the corporation world is not for you anymore, and then there's something that you've been wanting to do, well, maybe you can mix it up a little bit for now, you know, do a portion of whatever else you want to do, but don't sit and wait for it, because time is passing by, Libra. All this worrying and thinking that you can't do this and you can't do that is delaying the time that you could be actually making some extra money and doing something amazing, 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 amazing with it. Because I see that there is a possibility that if you decide to turn the situation around, you will actually have the upper hand. Because if you have the finances, if you have more than enough, then you don't have to justify what you're doing. It's yours. You could do whatever you want. If it's in your name, if it's your doing, you have every authority, you have every right to make yourself happy. But if you don't start that process, then that right is taken from you. That voice is stripped from you. So I see about mid-month, if you come to terms with what you need to do as far as financially, and you more focus on how you're progressing, and you try to stay a little bit more independent, and you try to focus on what is keeping you happy, yourself internally, before the extra things, you'll be able to not only manage your finances, but you'll also be able to answer back to whoever is not agreeing with whatever you are doing. And at that point, you don't even have to worry if anybody's agreeing with what you're doing or not. At that point, you will be content yourself. You won't even have to worry about these extra things. Because I see that as long as you are financially stable, and as long as you have your rights are not being taken from you, you have your own voice, you have your own opinion, you're able to come and go as you feel, I feel that you will be a much more loving person. I feel like you have not been able to be a loving person, that you feel like you've been somehow crossed or betrayed or taken advantage of, or I feel like you have been stripped from some kind of right, or something that you've had has been turned around in a way that you have lost your power. A power that you had previously has been gone for a while. That power comes when you stop focusing on the things that are bothering you and you start going towards the things that you need to get done. And then as long as you're going towards the things that you need to get done, then you can have your sharp mouth again. And everybody will agree with you because you were being logical and you were being right at that point. And at that point, then I see you becoming more loving. I feel like once I see, the cards are telling me the more you are independent, that confidence is sexy itself. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry if you're going to be making people upset. That confidence itself is sexy itself. So don't worry about it. Because once you say exactly what you want, once you have that confidence, once you have everything that you need, once you're doing it and you're not relying, I see you more, even more loving than you've even seen yourself in the past. I see you more giving. I see you more nurturing. I see you more forgiving and caring and taking care of others and being more patient with others too. But I do also want to tell you to be careful with, I have 4 of Pentacles, but usually that means like someone who is not stingy, but they're trying to make sure that they're having the right savings for the right kind of project and plan that they have. There could be some kind of expense that you have coming up, or maybe your resources are a little bit tight, or maybe you just feel like it's time to like knuckle down because things are a little bit different now. Whatever that is, I just want to let you know, I want to tell you, be a little bit vigilant, especially when it comes to money, and especially with what you're giving away. Make sure what you're giving away is worth it to those that are worth it. The ones that have invested enough with you. And also, you know, understanding what your priorities are with finances. And I really feel like telling you from the 1st to 15th, if you could please create a budget and put down your goals and say what you want. I could definitely see you, I could see everybody harvesting all of their goals by October time. But April is going to be the month, April 1st to April 15th is definitely going to be the month that you need to start writing down what your goals are. What your goals are financially. Write everything down. Write everything that you want to progress in your life. The last card that I have is the King of Cups reversed. And this is a person that is usually a sensitive soul. It could be a person that has Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or in his chart. He could either have it as a sign, or he can have a lot of water in his chart. But this is someone who is like up and down with their feelings. And at the end of the month, I see that this person is upside down. I see them not giving as much love as they usually do. And the reason could be is from the lack of giving, okay? You have to make sure that you're giving what is fair, okay? Because if you're not giving what is fair, you have to remember that this month you have to genuinely follow your intuition. There's going to be times that you do have to hold back. But you have to also learn when you're holding back too much, it's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to fire back on you. So if you have been having issues and you feel like you haven't spoken your mind enough, but you know you are already seeing some kind of solution, you should just stop right there and see how the progress goes before you're too upset about it. Because what I see is there's a lot of fire energy going in and out. There is heated conversations that are spoken about, and they could be the worst things, Libra. They could be very fiery attacks. And the king, it's like the king and the queen are not talking to each other, because the king is feeling neglected and the queen is upset because of the sharp words. So this is like a circling cycle that I see. But what you must understand, Libra, is that you have the power of strength. Strength is in your card. So however you want this to land, however you want this to end, it's really, the ball is in your court. You just have to understand what it is that you want, okay? You have to be honest with what it is that you want. Lay your cards out on the table and follow through with that. Because regardless, as long as you are strong in your heart, you will be happy either way. You don't have to worry. Because I see that there is a person who is, if there's a person in your life who is, let's say you have a spouse or you have a partner who contributes in your household financially, because I have the Knight of Pentacles. So that could be either someone that is the head of the household who, pays all the bills, or it could be your spouse, or it could be someone who is a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. So it could be someone with Earth in their chart. This person, when they don't see generosity, they hold back, okay? Because they don't understand why anything is happening. So if you're trying to teach a lesson, it's like it's done and it's not understood. So I understand why you might have to explain more than you normally would. But the thing that you must understand is that what works for you doesn't work for other people. This person is a person who has a very slow process. This person is someone that will come to very slowly. So if you have a partner or spouse in your life, you need to understand that everything that you explain to this person, it might take like a conversation that you have with them. It could take 3 days for one sentence to get into their thought. And what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that they're slow in any way. No, it's just that sometimes people need a process. They need to understand what it is that you're explaining to them, so that way they can work it in their life and they can use it in their life, and then all of a sudden they have an aha moment. So this Knight of Pentacles, this person that is coming towards you, this is someone who you are romantically involved. They are emotional, and when you pull back, they will pull away even more. And that will cause some kind of fire of upset between you both. But you need to understand that you need to have the strength to know that this is a slow process. That they're not going to understand what you understand right away. That they have to experience things in their own way, in their own time. And as long as you have the patience for this, anything that you want will happen, as long as you've already thought the process out in your mind. If you're already thinking about that negative thought, you're on your way towards that negative thought. If you're on your way towards that positive thought, you are on your way towards that positive thought or negative thought. Whatever thought you're thinking, you're on your way towards that thought. But what you don't understand is that people don't understand things the way that you do at the time that you do, and they have to go through their own experiences. And sometimes when you talk to them, they're not going to process it the same way. And this person that you're involved with is coming very slowly towards you. There are things that they need to learn in their life. There are lessons that they have to personally understand in their own life. There's things that you cannot just say and speak, and I do understand that. But what you need to understand is that during this process, as long as you could retreat and you can find your own way of making yourself happy too, if you find your sanity in this process, if you find your strength in this process, everything will be all fine. And every time I wanted to do your reading, I just felt like I didn't have the right words. But this is what April is going to be about. You see, April is the first house. Aries is the first house. Aries is the sign that teaches us about self. And this month, you're going to be really thinking about how you project your behavior, how your temperament is, how your health is, and how you react, and what your appearance is. And I know that all of these things are very, very important to you, especially because Aries is your opposite sign. And when you're not feeling yourself, you will become more of Aries. You'll be more thinking about yourself, especially when you have more time for yourself. And that could be a time when you feel like others are not harmonizing. But you also need to understand that this is a time where you can harmonize when you are by yourself. This is a time that you can journal. This is a time that you can really create something that you want in your life. This is a time that you can really think about who you are as a person and how you want to design your future. So April will be that month that you're going to really think about what you want. And just remember, it's actually a good thing that things don't come to us right away. Okay? So with patience, everything is key. And if you guys like, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be coming around as soon as these general readings are done. We're going to definitely discuss about every single one of these signs. And I want to take the time with you, Libra, and I want to share with you. And I know that sometimes life could be very hard. I really do understand it. I understand the pain that you have been going through. I understand how much you've suffered, how much you have put people ahead of you. And I know that you can feel how much a loss that is. But April will be the time that you need to remember how to take care of yourself, okay? April will be the time that you remember who you are as a person individually before others. So remember that. And then we will be back at the end of the month. We're going to be talking more about self, because that's really important. So self-healing is really going to be important for April for you. Okay? So if you guys like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll definitely be back by the end of the month, Libra. I hope everything else works out great for you, but I just don't want you to worry. I want you to remember everything is going to be fine at the end. It's just right now you need to have strength, because you need a little bit more patience. Things are taking much longer than you think. And there's reward for it, because anything that comes to you quickly is going to be gone quickly too. Okay? So remember, patience is key. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys for all of your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.